Greetings, dear precious spirit soul that you are. You know, you're my people. I'm your people. You see, because if you're even tuning into me or listening to this and haven't been blown off or blown away because I triggered you somewhere, I hope. Because see, I always consider myself kind of a bridge. And also kind of like an agitator one way, because it's the agitator in the washing machine that gets the dirt out of the clothes. And my topic is using a mistake to empower you. Using a mistake to empower you. See, we all have made and do make mistakes. And so in some way, and a mistake doesn't say it's a bad thing in that way, but it actually meant that somehow you did something or you were involved in something that didn't turn out the way you thought or expected, or what anybody else thought or expected. So then we call that, well, that's a mistake. Well, there's actually only one mistake that's ever made, and you'll know, yeah, it's the way it is to identify yourself as this physical or mental body. And because when we do, I do, you do, all people are, that is the illusion that puts us into a situation where we believe we are born and will die. And also the belief that we are, in a sense, powerless, not able, many, many different things. So that's the big mistake. And that mistake comes from some kind of a sense of is it envy, or when we misidentify ourselves as a limited, temporary, physical body that obviously is going through cycles of nature because it's made of nature, and we can perceive how nature is operating around us and in and through us, or this body that we are occupying or believe or sense we are occupying. Okay. So the thing about mistakes is also to correct. It's like, you know, there's so many, to go all the way into the past and there and there and there and there and there to try and recall all the times maybe you've caused distress to another living entity. You caused harm for them. You on purpose wanted to stop their happiness and their joy in life, or take their life, or use it, or eat it, or consume it, or whatever it is. That is what you would call it. In the Vedas, they call that kind of species a rakshasa. And they eat animals and humans, and they're shapeshifters, and they're actually demoniac. They have their own religions and priests and all these kind of things, because that's kind of what they have made themselves into. But yet, if we look at the very basic who we all are anyway, is that we have to reclaim our soul. And no matter how far or how long we've been in ignorance, and whatever we've done or shoulda, coulda, or woulda, we have to admit the mistake. And that comes from, in a sense, being envious of others, envious of what they have, and what envy means, and how you know it's envy. Envy is a symptom that you have been contaminated in your body through the mind, as the mind then, because there's a consciousness that we are, and when that gets perverted, And you might say it causes a sense like a reptilian brain, but that's just a name or something. But it causes us to, what would you call it? Reverse, a perverted, creates us perceiving life through the glass darkly, that then creates a perverted shadow reflection of the true divine spiritual realm, real earth, as real beings of who we are in our own true divine bodies that we already have, you see, because it's our feeling body. It's not a body in this dimension, and yet there's similarities, you see, because we're perceiving through the glass darkly. And then that causes us to try and hide our mistakes, cover our mistakes, blame others for the mistakes. And you could never have a mistake, because if anybody said you did, you'd blow up, because it's a trigger. When people blow up on things, it's because it's a trigger that sets them off. And if it does, you've got a belief there. You've got something as a core belief that's contaminating you, and it is part of that mind infection. So part of the medicine is your awakening, your realization, and your knowledge that you're not a mind. You have it. You are not those thoughts or words. You're because of who you are, this magnificent eternal being. So as we take our soul back, we also have all those mistakes to deal with, but the key is, as you admit the mistakes, whatever they may be, and you know what? If you're truly in your heart, if it's been the unkindness on purpose, even though others may interpret you as unkind, that's their issues, you see. You yourself know what your intentions are and who you are and what you're about, you see. So, my dear spirit soul, family members, beloved ones, it is such a pleasure to be able to offer this and to have you be able to receive. Please share with others you think that will help them. And the key is you take it and use it, and in every area of your life, that which resonates with you and how you are, you see. And then encouraging others to do the same and be the same, you see. And there were going to be more on that in the new, what would you call it, the prosperity, I forgot the name of it, but Renaissance, the new prosperity Renaissance adventure of actually bringing forth talents and abilities and skills and play and joy and beautiful music and song and our hearts celebrating, you see, our true liberation. And the liberation is to know and be in every moment who you are. So yes, we have all the mistakes, we have all the stuff, and to go to the basic ones. And the basic thing is to ever cause distress to any other living entity, animal, probably any living being, whatever body form that being happens to be in. And that does not mean you allow people to walk all over you. That doesn't mean you surrender to that. No. You also know where people are in their consciousness by their actions, and therefore the mistake would be to associate, you see, because we rise and fall by our associations. And you want to associate with the self, the divine, and then nature and who you are. And so acknowledge as you share this with people and use these videos as courses and classes that you can work with, not just say, oh, I heard that one. And there's so many that Michael and I have been working with, and all of those who have supported us and do support us financially in this, because it's so wonderful. And it's what you want to do is to use what you have, your research, for you to do your work and to help others who are also doing the work that supports you, you see. And when we do this, we come into, we're gifting truly. and wishing those well. And so many people are envious of their teachers or someone else who is doing what they want to be doing in some way. And that person then shuts off their good, because the thing we want to do is, if we stand in the truth of who we are in every moment, and as soon as we make the mistake, correct and come right back to yourself, you see. And in that moment, you have to forgive. And the forgiving means you start giving again. Flow and let your love flow, you see. And as we do that, we're retraining ourselves, not retraining, but we are acting in harmony with what we want, who we are, what we're about, in every aspect, and no one is stopping you. So please share this, and know that you are loved. And I'm not going to say it's all good, because that's not true. You are absolute goodness, and that's who you are.